we all know startups are no joke. You need people who have grit and want to be there and are going to ride the ups and downs.
So we'd love to hear about how you assemble high-performing teams. And as you've come into Instacart, you've had to build a leadership team. You've attracted people together. But how do you go about this? How do you attract the right people? How do you assess the right people? And then how do you make sure that they're working seamlessly together?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I could spend, many hours talking about this. But at a high level, like on attracting talent, I think of it as twofold. Yes, like recruiting can be like the analogy of a magnet, but it should also be the analogy of a bouncer. And like sometimes we're so focused on trying to attract talent that we skip that step. And my biggest mishires were people that on paper looked phenomenal, and I was like, I would be so lucky to just like land them. And then you realize you don't do your due diligence enough on figuring out, okay, are they going to be a great, fit with the culture? Are they complementary with the team? Are they really taking this challenge for the right reasons? And so I spend a lot more time almost in that like bouncer role. And any exec that I hire, I always have this one big conversation during the hiring journey where I tell them we're going to sit for an hour and I'm going to give you all of the reasons not to join Instacart. And like people are a little bit surprised by that, but trust me, like if they join after that, you have a keeper, because we all know startups are no joke. Like you need people who have like grit and want to be there and are going to ride the ups and downs. And so that's a very big part of like recruiting. So the thing I care enormously about is really understanding people's magic and unleashing it as part of a leadership team. And so I do this exercise where, during my leadership team dinner, I kind of talk about like the magic that I see in everyone, and I invite the leaders to share with the rest of the group how they do a certain thing and train the rest of the group on that. And what it leads to is that they end up really helping each other during tough times, leveraging the skills and the magic and the superpowers that they know they have. And what it does is that each of my leaders are not just like my chief comms officer or my chief product officers. I tell them, you are a set of leaders and we're running the company together. We're partners in making this business better. And yes, you might have a title of chief comms officer, but fundamentally you're way more than comms. And so if you have for example, my chief comms officer is incredible at getting like extreme consistency and productivity out of her team. Well, that's something we kind of need in product and eng as well. And so like, how can she, go help with that type of skill set across the company? And so I'm really trying to get like some of these superpowers and get all of these execs to apply their superpowers outside of just their function, which pushes them to work better together, spend more time on company-wide problems instead of just having the hat of their function, and create, I think, like a lot more resiliency in the business. So yeah. That's kind of how I do it.
I like the analogy of the bouncer. Have you ever scared anyone off that wanted to join when you sort of gave the reality of the company?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Like, yeah, I'm glad I scared them off, because like if I scared them off, like, when they come in, like I'd rather know up front